Hi everyone. For a quarter-inch drive sockets, normally the bigger sets that you can find is the 13. This is, for example, from 11. 13 one normally comes from 1/8 to 5/8 in the case of the imperial, and from 4 to 14 in the case of the metric. I'm gonna tell you in this video how you can, instead of carry 26 bits, you can make it only 8 for imperial and for metric. Let's start with that. Take out this. There is two kind of threads, the coarse and the fine, but both are using the same size of knots and the head of the bolt. In the case of the imperial, the thread are coming in the sizes from number 0 to 7/16 inch, and for metric is from 2 millimeters to 10 millimeters. That's the most common ones that you will find. The number 0 and 1 uses the socket 532. The 2 and 3 uses the socket 316. The 4 the quarter-inch. The number 5 and 6 the 516. Number 8 1132. Number 10 38. 12 and quarter-inch uses 7/16 socket, 5/16 the half-inch socket, 3/8 the 9/16, and the 7/16 thread is using a socket bigger than the higher that you can find in a quarter-inch drive. So we are not gonna consider that one. For the metric, you have started with 2 millimeters thread that uses the 4 millimeter socket, 2.5 the 5, 3 the 5.5, 4 the 7, 5 the 8, 6 the 10, 7, 11, and 8 millimeters uses the 13 socket. For the case of the 10 millimeters, also is using a socket about the 14 that you can find in the quarter-inch drive, so we are not going to consider that neither. So as you can see here, there is a sockets that are not used. The 1/8, the 732, 932, 5/8 in the case of the imperial, and in the metric the 4.5, 6, 9, 12, and 14. All these sockets are normally a common use. You don't gonna find easily a bolt or a nut that is in this X head. I also was checking, I googled, for example, the 932. I was checking where I can find a bolt or a nut that is 932 head X, and I just couldn't find any. I also asked ChatGPT if there is any bolt or nut that uses the 932 socket, and I have the same answer, that it is not common, and I might not find anything very specialized in thing. So based on that, well, you can probably take your chances and don't carry the ones I just marked, because it's going to be a very low chance that you find a nut or a bolt that using these heads. Even, for example, the Wira set, you can find, in the case of the millimetrics, the number 9 is not either coming in the set. So I guess that's for a reason, because there's not very used these socket sizes. So in that case, we just gonna have consider the ones are in use, the most common use, and we're gonna take out of our set the ones we mark it as not use a common use. Also, we're gonna convert the inches to millimeters for the imperial ones, and by doing that, we wanna be able, for example, to, instead of carrying the 532 and the 4 millimeters, since the 532 is 3.96 millimeters, is almost the 4, so we're gonna get only 1. And the same thing we're gonna do with the 316 by carrying the 5. The 5/16 we're gonna replace it by the 8 millimeters, and the half-inch we're gonna replace it for the 13 millimeters. And in the case of the millimetric, we're gonna replace the 11 millimeters by the 7/16, which is 11.11. With that done, now we can mark also the 532, the 316, the 5/16, the half-inch, and the 11 millimeters. Now let's clean this up. We're gonna remove all the marked ones, and then also we're gonna remove the duplicated here, like the number 4, the number 5, the 8, and the 13, and finally the 716. So this is our final sockets for now that we have as a unique, and the ones are more in use. Now let's talk about for the small one first. Let's talk about for the 1/4 inch first. So the 1/4 inch, just to have more context, this is the 1/4 inch nut. As you can see, it's very, very small, right? And this is the biggest one that we have from our range between the 4 millimeters and a 1/4, which is these ones. Let's separate these ones. Yeah, from the small sizes, this is the nut, right? Very, very small. So if you're gonna be it's gonna be a EDC. This you're gonna try to minimize this for an EDC. What you could do is using the 1/4 inch of your driver itself, right? So you can just use this, or even you can use the bit holder. Yeah, you can use even the bit holder. So because it's very, very small, right? I mean, it's I don't know, you could just for minimize space, right? Of course, if you're gonna be working with dozens of these nuts, yeah, or bolts every day, well, it might be not a good idea to be using your screwdriver. But if it's just as an EDC that eventually you might need it, well, you can remove this one by using the screwdriver straight, or even your bit holder, right? And then in that case we can take out this one also from our set. Same case will be for the 4 millimeters. This one, well, this other nut that I have here is for the 5.5, yeah, which is also very, very small. So, but in the case, imagine the 4 millimeters, I don't even have that nut because it's too tiny, which is this 4 millimeters. So for that one, if you're gonna be anyway carrying, for example, precision screwdriver, right? You can use also this one straight, directly, instead of carrying another more socket. You can use your precision screwdriver, or even if you have there is one adapter that normally can be used. This adapter, which is the for 1/4 inch to 4 millimeters, right? You can also use this one if, as I say, you want to minimize, and there is, right? You have now your 4 millimeters. Instead of carrying one more socket, you can just carry your adapter under your bits. And same apply for the 5 millimeters, right? Like for example, I have this one, as you can see here. Yeah, you can have here, instead of using a socket, you can use not driver, yeah. This one, this is actually the 5 millimeters. So you can carry one of these on your set. And that's it, right? With all your bits, same as your adapter here. You can do something like this. Then you carry not drivers instead of sockets for the small ones. You can even if you don't want to use, for example, your screwdriver as a socket for the 1/4 inch, well, you can also carry a not driver. Actually, this one is a 1/4 inch. Right, you can also carry something like this as like it was a bit. Then you can have the small ones, the 1/4 the 4, 5 and 5.5 as a not drivers instead, and you can arrange now your sockets. For example, here you can arrange it if we take out the 5 and the 5.5. So these 4 small ones, we take them out and we replace them as a bit with not driver bit, yeah, these ones. So now you can, for example, let's arrange this one. If you can, well, it's here will be missing. For example, now we have a half. We can use this one. Let's. You can have your, for example, your 9/16. This one stays. This 4 stays. This one no. So you have the 4 fields 4, and also what you could do is I have this other set which is coming from the 2024 calendar for Wira. You can actually, we have the 8, the 10, 13. You can also use these 3 here. For example, let's take out these other 2. And here, yeah, and well, we just need the 7, which I have here. I just need the clip from this guy. I guess we can borrow this. Let's take out this clip for now. Let's borrow it. Okay, just take out this. Let's borrow from this set just in the meantime. Put here, okay. And yeah, now we have the 4 millimetric one that they are most used, and also the 4 imperial that are more used. And also you have here your with not drivers, you have the other ones, and the 4 millimeters, the 5, 5.5 and 1/4 inch. So in that way, you pretty much with a set like this, you can, well, that is going to be very useful, and you can be sure that, well, you're going to cover the majority of the nuts and bolts that are most used, right? Also, you can check this one. I guess they fit here too. Yeah, they fit. 38, 32, 13. Oh, this is 13 is here. 9/16, 10. And 7. Yeah. Oh, it looks good. Yeah. So, well, this one could be one arrange. So by doing that, well, now you you know that these ones are the most common use by having this. Yeah, that would be very helpful. Just an idea. And as well, if you don't like the you don't want these, for example, or you like the double-ended beads, also let me show you. you can arrange something like this. And guess which one are the most common sizes? For example, in the case of the clay tools, right, are the same numbers that we were considering too, right? We have the 916, which is here, the 716, also here, the 38, which is here, 1132, here is 13 millimeters. Well, this is case of the walt. The walt also uses double-ended sockets here. You can use in the case of this one because there is no 1013 in the case of the clay tools. You can have the 1012, but we need the 1013. I couldn't find it. You have or even 1314 or 1012, but you don't have 1013. That we need it, but in the wall you do, so you can use the wall here in this case. The 7/8 in clay too, and also the wall handle the 7/8 as well. Yeah, there is the wall also uses the 7 and 8, and yeah, you can arrange something like this, right, with double-ended sockets, and also, as we mentioned, you don't gonna find the sockets that we took out from here. That is also not common in the case of the wall or the clay tools. The common ones are the same that we have here, right? So, and also you can as well carry the nut drivers for the 5.5, the 4 millimeters, and the 1/4 inch. As well, if you want to have the 1/4 inch, there is also here the 1/4 inch. If you're gonna be using for a normal job, I mean, yeah, you can better use this instead of your screwdriver, so you can add this to your set. One more thing I noticed, just for information, that this one works also with it works with clay tools, this adapter, right? This also works here, so you can carry this one as wear a bit, right? What doesn't work is the opposite. This one, the clay tools, does not work with the walt. This one doesn't work with this, but this adapter for the walt works with the clay tools, so you can use the same ones here. Just because I honestly kind of don't like too much to use this one. I found it very annoying to pull it in and out in this case. But well, this is another option. If you want, this is a 7/8. You can also carry the full set here. You can also carry all the ones we were needed, 7/8, the 38, the 7/16, all these ones you can carry here. Yeah. And have just separated the 7, the 10 and 13. You can have it separated in the case of the walt. Just have it here. Oh, this one is here. So yeah, this is a by clay. You can have this plus this, and you have all the sockets that are also considering here. Okay, well guys, this is just an idea to minimize, maximize the utilization of your sockets by using only the ones that are most common use instead of carrying 26 sockets, the full thing, right? You can just bring these ones, and I guess it will solve most of your problems. And what you could do also, well, I honestly like to have the universal socket too, So if you think that by having this you still feel that you might gonna find something that you will need and you don't have the socket, well, you can always carry an universal socket, which also will solve you for that purpose. Something like this, right? Your universal socket. Yeah, I mean, I have heard that this one breaks sometimes, but I tested with a really with a full torque of the 6 Newton meters, which is, to me, I guess is good enough to tie it, and I have never break it or anything, right? And as a ADC, it might work, right? As I said, if you want to be doing this one as a normal job by working with dozens of nuts and bolts, yeah, it might not be a good idea. But if you carry this and you have it anyway just in case, I guess this one will solve the most of your problems. Okay, well, see you next time, guys. Thanks for passing by, and bye.